I love that new voice. That I don't know if that's a feature that Zoom just added, but it's nice because now I don't have to ask every time or tell everyone. Okay, so this is our weekly retro. Steve, you're up first on the what went well, actually.
Yeah, so this week went pretty well. Conan, spent a lot of time on Conan, so it's starting to make a lot more sense, and starting to really see the distinctions between it and all of the other package systems that we have in place right now. In addition to that, I've just made a lot of progress in sort of building my knowledge in Conan and in how the GitLab's file upload system kind of works and how it's connected to Workhorse and all of that good stuff. It's been good.
Nice. For me, we had a meeting with the Google Venture team, who's an investor in GitLab, we're piloting this new process for the product and UX teams called the problem validation process. And so Scott and Christy made some Google Venture research people available to us, and they were sort of walking through best practices, how to create a research brief, how to best recruit interviewees, and best practices for interviewing people. So it's been really cool to work through that with these folks who have really impressive backgrounds. Like when we met them, they were saying the one woman was head of design for all Google Apps and GoPro, and like at first product designer at Walmart. And I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty impressive. And the other guy's done research for all of these other companies. So it's really great to be able to have these people training us and to think through some of these problems. That was a really exciting opportunity for me. The next thing I would say was really that went well was I met with one of our sales reps yesterday who walked me through this methodology that he's trying to implement called the SPIN methodology, which is basically you're just asking questions, gaining context, and then you're saying, now that I understand your problem, here's how GitLab can help you. And I thought it was a really valuable way of walking through things. And I've been so focused on our users lately and our user journeys and experience that I haven't taken a step back and looked at, well, what is it? How do we pitch this to buyers? And how do we pitch this to the market? So I thought that was a really helpful meeting. And I have some action items that are coming out of that to help that sales rep think about what questions could we ask prospects to get to those pain points when it comes to the container registry or the package registry. So two meetings that sort of took me out of my normal day-to-day thing and gave me a new perspective. So I thought that was really valuable.
Hey everyone, it's been a while, so I hope you're all doing good and okay, and enjoying work.
We're glad to have you back. It's nice to see you again.
Good, thank you. So obviously, I've only been back 2 days, so I haven't had too much to do. And yesterday was basically mostly catching up and just reading emails and that kind of stuff. So the only thing I have to report, I suppose, is that today I managed to get a working proof of concept for the new sorting component. And I got that to work with the container registry images page, which is cool. Like, yeah, I just spent the morning working on that. So I'm not entirely sure how I've done it is the correct GitLab way of working with with this component. So I was hoping to find somebody that has a bit more expertise that's actually built a few more of these components and just talk through whether or not the way that I've approached this is like even remotely correct. It's a bit weird actually because they're all Vue and basically all my experiences with React. So it's quite different to how you do things in Vue as to how you do them in React. So that's why it took a little bit of time for me to get that. But overall, it was pretty good. And it's nice to see it actually work as well.
Were you able to connect with someone who has built those components? And can I or Ian help find someone that has?
Not yet. I've only I only finished it. Well, I say finished it, but I only put this in about an hour ago, so I haven't really gone exploring to find anyone yet. So I was going to wait and see if there is anybody that anybody could recommend. But if not, I'll just throw it out to the front end Slack group and see who jumps on it.
Okay. I'll see if I could find anyone as well. But I bet the front end Slack group's probably the best.
Cool. I'll wait for a bit, and if you come up, because I'm going to finish after this, and on Monday I'll seek somebody out.
Okay, cool. Do you want to read Dan's?
Sure. Okay, so Dan's CEO program is very interesting, learning a lot and coming away with 2 key items. Smaller MRs, not faster, equals higher velocity, and MR's engineer month is directly related to customer value, velocity, and organizational value. So I'm guessing smaller MRs and more of them is the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Steve, you're up.
So not so well this week. As I've learned more about Conan, I'm learning that the overall storage is pretty complex and certainly more complex than NPM and probably more complex than Maven. It feels like progress has just been kind of going slow as I've just been sort of like working through this code and trying to understand everything. And while I have been learning a lot and making a lot of progress on sort of building that knowledge, the overall progress on writing code and working through MRs has slowed down. So that's always kind of a bit of a bummer.
Are there any questions that the Conan team can help us answer with regards to storage that might be helpful?
I'll think about that. I think it's more, since there's not really like documentation on how all of this stuff is set up, it's just kind of working through their code of how they've implemented it and just understanding, how everything works.
Well, it might be worth asking in the GitHub in the GitHub in a GitHub issue, because they have offered to like any support and help. So it could be for them. It might be they've done it a bunch of times, so it might be easier.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Wouldn't hurt.
For me, it was a good week overall, actually. My only negative is that I was already behind on making the strategy and direction updates because I was out on vacation, and then I didn't get to it this week. So now I'll be 2 weeks behind next week. So hopefully Jason doesn't get really upset with me. But other than that, it was a great week, and it's great I had a lot of focus time, which was nice. I guess I could read Dan's. The CEO Shadow program, I think I need a holiday. The program is good for the most part. It's just tiring being in hotels and long days with lots of meetings and lots to take in. Yeah, I think I'll have to be nice to Dan next week when he gets back. Okay. Ian, anything to add? Not to put you on the spot, but
no, I think next time I'm actually gonna like fill out the document like everyone else did instead of being weird about it. This week was kind of slow because I was sick in the middle, but all the user research that Tim and I have done so far has been synthesized. So hopefully soon I'll be able to share kind of the findings from that initial research with everyone. So, we all have that shared context. Hopefully that'll be next week.
Cool. Cool. All right, I'm going to stop recording.